Legendary Pokemon trios are a thing where 3 legendary Pokemon are closely linked together as part of a group. But what if there were more than just 3 of them? What would it be like if legendary trios had more members? Well, strap on in because we are going to be answering that question for 3 legendary trios today, and without further ado, let's get to it. The first legendary trio that ever graced our presence were the legendary birds of Kanto, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Being from Kanto, they don't really have a whole lot of lore to their names, but it's fairly easy to imagine what a new member of this trio could be like, since they each represent a distinct type and are also all based on some kind of mythological bird, with Zapdos being a thunderbird, Moltres being a phoenix, and Articuno possibly being based on multiple mythical birds such as the Persian Huma. So, with all of that as a foundation, meet the 4th member of the legendary birds. The art in this video, as usual, was done by Alestiva076, so make sure you check him out with the link in the description below, and when it comes to this beast of a bird in particular, it factors into the legendary bird group as a rock flying type, and this type comes from its inspiration, the rock bird, making it a bit of a pun. The roc is a bird from Middle Eastern mythology that is said to be particularly enormous and is also a bird of prey, which further explains this Pokemon's appearance. Additionally, I should probably get into the name of this thing as well, since the legendary birds all have names that connect to one another, since they include the Spanish words for 1, 2, and 3. So, naturally, this would mean that the 4th member of this group would need to end its name with the Spanish word for 4, which is cuatro. Therefore, I have named this fearsome Pokemon Rockquatro, coming from quattro, rock like the type, and rock the bird. However, I honestly just came up with this name off the top of my head at the same time, so feel free to leave other name suggestions in the comments as well. Finally, if this bird were to actually be found in Kanto like its counterparts, I think the only place for it to be found would be in or around the Rock Tunnel, because I mean, it's even named the Rock Tunnel. It's perfect. What do you guys think, though? Do you think Rockquatro would be a cool addition to the Kanto birds? Let me know down below as we head over to the Johto region. So these videos are some of my favorite to do because I get to commission amazing art and create awesome new Pokemon. And all of that is possible thanks in part to sponsors, like the sponsor of today's video, Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. These are subscription boxes that provide the yummiest of treats that come straight from Japan, and truly, the stuff they include is amazing. Like these coffee-flavored Kit Kats that I'm not fancy enough to be able to pronounce the flavor of. Also, I hate coffee personally, but even I will say that these are delicious. They also sent me this strawberry cream soda from the Tokyo Treat box. It is also delicious. With Tokyo Treat, you get the more trendy, modern treats, and with Sakura Co, you get the more traditional Japanese experience. This month's Sakura Co box might actually be my favorite so far. There's lots of pastry-esque stuff, and also these, which look kinda gross admittedly, but are basically like dessert-flavored Cheetos. They're pretty good. The theme for these boxes are Sugoi Summer for Tokyo Treat and Okinawa Retreat for Sakura Co. If you would like to get your hands on these boxes and help to support the channel in the process, you can use my links in the description below to place an order, and when you do, you'll also get $5 off your first box. So check it out, these are truly a lot of fun, and thank you again to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for making videos like this one possible. So, as I was saying, Johto followed up Kanto with a legendary trio of its own, and those are none other than the legendary beasts. Unlike the birds, the beasts have a bit more lore to them, being resurrected by Ho-Oh after they were killed in the burning of the burned tower. So how could a fourth legendary beast fit into this equation? Well, this is how. Meet Shiroja, the hypothetical ghost-type member of the legendary beasts. The idea is that Shiroja comes into existence as a part of this group just like all the others, beginning with the burning of the burned tower. However, unlike Entei, Suicune, and Raikou, Shiroja was not resurrected by Ho-Oh for some reason, causing its spirit to feel alone and resented. These feelings brought Shiroja back to life in this new form, where it now haunts the burned tower and seeks to take down Ho-Oh and the other legendary beasts for abandoning it all those years ago. I imagine that Shiroja would be obtainable at the burned tower only after catching all 3 other legendary beasts, and you would have to also have all 3 of them in your party, and possibly even Ho-Oh as well, in order to get it to appear. When it comes to its name, Shiroja follows the naming conventions of all of the other legendary beasts, who are named first after the element they represent, then after some type of word that means ruler or monarch or emperor in Japanese. Shiroja does exactly this, coming from Shiryo, the word used to describe the souls of the dead in Japanese folklore, and Oja, which means king in Japanese. I personally would love to see something like this actually exist. Maybe in a Legends Johto game or something like that, just like how the Forces of Nature also got a new member themselves in Legends Arceus. That would be so stinking cool, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but in my opinion, it really shows off the potential of this idea of new members for existing legendary trios. Next up, we're going to leave the historic lands of Johto and travel to the tropical shores of Hoenn. This region is actually the first to see multiple definitive legendary trios, as Hoenn has both the Regis and the Weather Trio. However, just like the birds and the beasts, we're going to be dealing with the secondary legendaries of this region and look at the Regis. Now, this one is an interesting case because we have already officially seen more members of this trio added to this group when the Crown Tundra DLC was introduced for Sword and Shield and brought us Regidrago and Regieleki. So these guys aren't even really a trio anymore. However, now that that door is officially open for the Regis, it would be cool to see what else could come out of it. Like maybe, perhaps, a dark type Regi, like we have here. First off, this guy's name is Regisombra, because Regis are all named Regi, followed by what is pretty much the name of their type. However, Regidark sounded kinda lame in my opinion, so I decided to simply go with what Alestiva named this thing when he sent it back to me, which was Regisombra, with sombra meaning shadow in Spanish. It's not quite as on the nose as the other Regi names, but it sounds way cooler, so we're gonna go with it, and coincidentally enough, it also works perfectly with this Pokemon's inspirations as well. The neat thing about the Regis is that they're all based on different ages of time. For example, Regice is based on the Ice Age, Regirock the Stone Age, Registeel the Iron Age, and Regidrago and Regieleki can be seen as representing the Middle Ages and the Age of Technology or the Digital Age, respectively. With that in mind, the Dark type was chosen for Regisombra because it represents the Dark Ages, a period of time in Europe which actually overlaps a little bit with the Middle Ages as well. Meanwhile, the reason why the name Regisombra works out so great for this is because the Dark Ages took place in Europe, which is where Spain is located, which is not only the setting of the newest region in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but also they speak Spanish in Spain, which is where Regisombra's name comes from, as I said earlier. So everything about this design just comes together really nicely, and if we were to place it somewhere within the Pokemon world, since we know that the Regis don't just have to be in Hoenn after seeing the ones from the Crown Tundra, Regisombra could definitely be found somewhere in the region of Scarlet and Violet. Maybe locked away in a dark tomb, as its sinister ways proved to be too much of a threat to let it be partnered up with any other Regi out there. I would really love to see Game Freak continue to explore the Regis further, and a Dark-type Regi like this would be amazing to see next. So, that was a taste of what it could be like if legendary Pokemon trios were given new members. Would you like to see this happen in the games? Do you want to see more videos like this for other trios? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'll be back with another video very soon, and until then, as always, thank you all so much for watching this one. I really appreciate it, and I will smell you guys later.